3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hey guys, welcome back to Combat Champs. It's John.
And Jeff.
This is where we give our latest views and reactions in the mixed martial arts world.
Today, basically, we're going to run through the co-main events and main events for Bellator 288. Starting with the co-main event, we have basically Usman Nurmagomedov versus Patricky Pitbull. Now, the name Nurmagomedov, I can mention his name, you already know straight away. That name carries weight.
Lineage of
from
the gold.
the whole MMA world.
Yeah. First name and last name.
Last name, that part.
Come on now.
So you already know at this point, the younger cousin of the GOAT, Khabib, coming in to fight for his first title against a well-rounded killer,
experienced
former champion and at this point current champion, Pitbull, who's basically had a crazy record, basically 25 fights wins, 17 by knockouts, and only had at least 5-6 losses.
Yeah.
This guy's been through dealt with all the best, and pretty much came out on top. With this fight, it was definitely quite interesting because basically Patricky Pitbull, he's more or less a counter fighter.
Yeah.
So he's always gonna be waiting for the opponents to come towards him and pretty much
drop those bombs on them.
Exactly.
Because he carries a lot of power inside those fists.
But with this fight coming in, I think Pitbull more or less had in his mind, like, I gotta be a bit more cautious. I have to be a bit more, not be swinging too crazy and just be patient.
Yeah, because like Usman had the reach, in terms of height and length wise, isn't it? So he knew he had to kind of, in a way, come with cautions coming in to counter attack whatever Usman had.
Yeah.
And I think in the first round you can kind of see like how difficult it was for Patricky to come in.
Yeah.
Because from the get-go you can see Usman using his in a way like a karate / taekwondo stance. Using those kicks, the tips, leg kicks, using that as an attack method, but at the same time controlling the distance between the two guys. And you can see, like I said, in the first round, he was using that until Usman managed to get Patricky. What was it? Was it a left jab and then took him down
on the floor
and then from the last minute, that's when Usman was really starting to put in his ground and pound work on him, especially those vicious elbows, landing on him.
Catching him. I honestly thought like that fight was going to be done.
Yeah,
that fight was going for at least another 5 more or 10 seconds.
Yeah,
the referee would have stopped the fight
for sure.
immediately.
100%.
That's how that was good looking.
But lucky enough, the bell came through just in time to save his ass. So obviously, he went back to his cage, and I'm sure, looking back then, he was like, all right, this is slightly different. I need to find a way to close a gap, but also managing to catch him in it somehow, some way. Obviously, in the second, third, and fourth round, it was practically the same thing, really, compared to the first round. Using his taekwondo, karate stance, using the distance, just catching him. Anytime when Patricky was coming in, there was a 1-2 waiting to come back at him. And I felt like Patricky was starting to get frustrated with it all as well at the same time. He was like trying to find ways, in a way, he was trying to obviously counter him, but at the same time, he was really trying to force through his power punches as well, which wasn't landing whatsoever.
And even at times when Usman tried to come close with a jab cross, in those situations, I would have thought that Patricky was like, okay, good, he's in my range, I can always counter. But no, I think consistently, the amount of kicks that Usman was throwing at him made him think that, okay, I'm expecting the kick coming in or I'm expecting the takedown. So pretty much Patricky was thinking consistently how I'm going to try to avoid a takedown, how am I going to try to implement my counters or my skills-wise inside the range. And Usman, like, he just did everything perfect.
To a T.
To the point where it's like, you know what, this is just a complete domination for one side. And so at this point, it's like, I'm not taking anything away from Pitbull. Pitbull tried to do the best he can, even when he was on the ground, was on the floor, trying to move around, because he also has
jiu-jitsu inside it.
So for me, I thought he was going to try to implement more of that. But it just shows you how important it is to consistently work on your ground game.
Yeah, and then your defense as well.
Defense as well at the same time, as well as your offense. And as well is also crucial, important, the team around you. Because like, not only that, Usman, his cousin is Khabib, but you also got the
AKA family around him as well, right?
Like, you have killers around him. So when you have basically beasts consistently around you, training with you, giving you advice, doing this and there, bro, there's no way you shouldn't be a champion and also dominate your own league.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, your own division, sorry. So from this point on, like, it's quite exciting to see how Usman more or less can grow from here. He's only what, 24, 25?
Yeah, he's 24,
He's still
man.
a kid.
He's young, bro.
In the MMA world, he's still a kid.
And undefeated.
As well.
16-0 now after this victory.
And so from this point on, it's just quite interesting where this reign will go. I'm pretty sure he will definitely dominate the whole lightweight division. Honestly, to be honest, I don't see. I've seen the ranking. I don't see anyone from the ranking that actually give Usman a hard fight. Besides probably Benson Henderson.
Yeah, I think that's next as well now. Looking at how the rankings are stacking at the moment.
That would be a very good fight. That would definitely showcase Usman's, his capability to deal with also another great fighter as well. We also fought all the best as well at the same time. So I'm definitely excited to see where Usman reigns continue from this point on. And yeah, hope for the best for him, really.
Yeah, facts.
Moving on, the main event, Corey Anderson versus
Vadim Nemkov
for the light heavyweight title and the $1 million prize on top of it.
Now, for this fight, this is a rematch because a few months ago, they had this fight going on. But basically, what happened in the first round, both Corey and Vadim collided heads, which basically had to stop the fight and couldn't continue afterwards. So they had to reschedule it. And coming towards a Bellator 288, both guys knew that this was the final. And obviously, knowing what they had to prepare on the last fight, they knew, I think, that their wrestling / striking was going to be a key factor in who's going to win and come out on top of this. Now, for the first round, you could kind of see how both guys were very hesitant to come in. So they were feeling themselves out with their jabs, Vadim with the leg kicks. And you can see Corey managed to do a first takedown, which was actually a few takedowns he managed to do during the whole fight. Inside the first round, managed to take him down, but wasn't able to keep him on there. And then afterwards, Vadim was also striking him with a few good shots as well. It was very close, very close. I had it even coming into the end of that round until Nemkov came with a spinning back heel kick, which landed on the temple of Anderson, which dropped him. And from that point, luckily enough, Anderson was able to hold on to Vadim and basically wait for the last 10 seconds to count out, really, which kind of saved him in a way, I think. And then afterwards, round 2, 3, 4, I think it was all 3 rounds were very similar. Corey was trying to put the pressure on Vadim, trying to find his shots, landing a few here and there, but missing a lot. And Vadim just controlling the space as well. Going around, anytime when Anderson was throwing shots, he was able to spin around him and just not take full brunt or any damage whatsoever. And Vadim was also landing his shots as well. And again, with the wrestling side, Vadim had excellent wrestling takedown defense.
Making sure his back wasn't on the fence.
Yeah, bro.
Trying to find the center.
Yeah, Corey is
just crazy.
I don't want to say Corey was desperate, but you can kind of see how anything he had planned for him wasn't really working out. And obviously he was trying to mix that with his striking and wrestling. But Nadim had his
number.
Yeah.
And it also Nadim was very clever as well, because with most wrestlers, they're always heavy on the leading feet because they're always trying to implement their wrestling.
Yeah.
So you can see Nemkov was more or less throwing those calf kicks consistently to the point where you kind of saw Corey basically, he normally just jump around, moving, just trying to find a feel. But towards the end of the rounds, you can see him pretty much those calf kicks was catching up with him, and he was pretty much just there trying to be desperate, like you said, trying to catch Nemkov off. But Nemkov was just pure excellence on his striking, on his defense. Everything was perfect.
Looked nice and calm and relaxed inside there. Every time when he had to reset, he reset himself again, make the distance between those two guys, and win again. And you can see how being trained among with the GOAT himself, Fedor, and implementing some of his IQ skills into him. You can see how this guy is becoming potentially the best guy in light heavyweight division Bellator right now.
Absolutely.
And obviously coming out with the win and also with the $1 million check, obviously you have to look now at this guy as practically, if not number 1, number 2 pound per pound best guy inside the Bellator
I agree.
Whole roster, really, Do I see anyone really taking beating Nemkov right now?
I don't think so.
Probably not. But we don't have to wait too long, right?
Because now his next, we already know exactly who his next opponent is. He's basically another GOAT.
Soldier of God.
Yoel Romero.
Yeah, bro. February the 4th, right?
I think so as well.
Bellator 290.
February, either way. So that fight will also be quite interesting as well. Of course, we all know Yoel Romero, history of pretty much Olympic silver medalist.
Yeah.
in his reign at UFC, pretty much fought all the best.
All the guys, right?
Destroyed a lot of people during his reign as well.
And so many knockout highlights as well, right, man?
So, of course, I feel like this fight for February is going to be another classic fight.
Yeah, right, man.
Again, 50-50, we don't know who's going to win. Of course, a lot of people may think that Nemkov will get this, but never count out your Romero.
Yeah, no, never.
That guy's
even at the age of 40 plus, whatever he is, the guy still moves like a guy in his early 30s, you know, and with that power as well. Like this here right now, it's an even 50-50 fight,
so,
you know. For me, my heart says Yoel, but my head says Nemkov. We'll have to wait and see how this plans out, but it's definitely one fight to look forward to come 2023, man. 100%, bro.
Absolutely. Now, sadly, this past week, we lost another great legend, Anthony Rumble Johnson, by the age of 38. 38 years old.
Sad, bro, man.
It just shows you like how delicate life is as well. Anthony Rumble Johnson, what can we say about this guy? This guy has started out UFC. He started UFC at welterweight.
Yeah, 170, bro.
Like, it's crazy. It's just mad how he even managed to cut so much weight to make 170.
Yeah, bro.
And like you can see, he was alright. He was really skinny and lean,
slim.
But you can see all those early stages that basically how he fought. He had so much talent. He could kick, throw, power punches, good wrestling as well.
Of course.
Like he showed a lot of great technique during his welterweight reign. But always he had those issues with cutting weight, you know.
And his gas tank was very low as well.
So of course that's going to affect him during his fights. So of course moving up to middleweight, he only had I think he only had 1 or 2 fights at middleweight. His only loss at middleweight was against Vitor Belfort. And I think from that point on there, when he lost against Vitor, UFC cut him, and from there, I think when he got cut from UFC, I think that definitely helped and motivate Anthony Rumble Johnson to improve much more, because he went to different organizations and just tore everything up. It was crazy. So and even he was at heavyweight at one point.
Yeah, bro.
He was at heavyweight at one point against Arlen Arlovski as well, and beat him as well. So it just showed you it doesn't really matter what weight, as long as you got the skill set to more or less implement what you need to do and knowing how to win against your opponents
and the power.
You can do so. And then when he came back to UFC at light heavyweight, he was on a tear, crazy tear. He was knocking out people left, right, center, being the likes of Phil Davis. Who is it?
Ryan Bader, Gustafsson, Manoa, bro. So many to name, bro. So many performances of the night, knockouts. Like the guy was just a monster. Glover Teixeira as well.
That knockout was disgusting.
The guy was on a terror, you know, and he got his chance, you know. He got a chance against DC, you know, for the title. The first time. You know,
it was a close fight.
Yeah, it was a close fight.
It just showed you, how they were going back and forth, and even when he caught DC as well with those punches.
Yeah, he stunned him a little bit, bro.
I honestly thought DC was gonna lose this fight, finally lose the fight against someone who was much more better striker than him. Yeah. But DC implemented his wrestling.
Yeah, higher key wrestling, bro.
And then they also have a second fight, but this time it was really for the light heavyweight title. Again, same thing as the same fight. First round, and Rumble Johnson's more or less implementing his punches, hurting DC as well again. But it's just weird that for someone who has also good wrestling, he always gets taken down the floor, and he got submitted. And I felt like for me, that was his kryptonite. He just didn't know how to more or less defend, submissions. Yeah. Because he lost against Belfort. He got submitted. Lost against DC. He got submitted twice. So at this point, it's kind of showing you have everything to be a great champion, but then you
couldn't really get there, right?
You know what I mean?
But nonetheless, he showed the whole UC fans what an amazing athlete he was. The character of the man himself was just a gentleman.
Absolutely.
He carried himself with not an ego, but everyone loved and respected him so much. Dude. And when we heard the news of his passing as well, it was a shame, man, because I still think he had so much left inside the tank to give to the mixed martial arts world and community. And you know what? He will always have a place in all the UFC mixed martial arts fans' hearts. He's definitely, without a shadow of doubt, going to be in the UFC Hall of Fame, without a doubt, 100%. And his legacy, And memories will always stay with us, no matter what. Rest in peace, Rumble Rum. We love you, miss you. And
hopefully we wish all the family all the best.
Yeah, indeed. Well. Condolences to the family as well. But guys, thank you for this episode. Let us know what you think about the Bellator fights down below. Who do you think is going to come on top between Nemkov and Yoel? Do you think it's going to be a knockout? 5 rounds? How's it going to end up, guys? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you all into the next one.